What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Hoop Hogs video mailbag, a game week edition, dare I say. Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas and the Pod at the Palace, coming to you with our daily basketball Q&A. We've had some good ones lately. We got a good one today. Let's get right into it. Comes from Just Say No to Woke. Appreciate the comment. It says, compare this year's recruits to the NSJ, Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh class, so the 2022 class. For Arkansas. Sure, I'd love to do that. I will say this. I wasn't 100% sure if you were talking about like Arkansas's incoming freshmen for this season or the guys they're recruiting now in the 2025 class. So we'll do both. How's that work? Anyway, Arkansas, they had the number 2 ranked class in 2022. We know that was a really, really good one. It was a 6-man class. So remember, while Nick Smith and Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh highlighted that one. It was the Burger Boy trio plus 3 others, right? Darian Ford, Joseph Pinion, and Barry Dunning were all a part of that class. So if we're talking about Arkansas's incoming freshmen this year, it would probably be important to also include, like Cash Chavis, for example, with Boogie Flan, Carter Knox, and Billy Richmond, because, he kind of ranked right in that same range as Pinion and Dunning did, right? Anyway, like we said, Arkansas had the number 2 class in 2022. For the 2024 class, I don't think people talk about this enough because it happened so quick and it was in the middle of portal season and everything. Cal flips 3 of those guys from Kentucky and then adds Cash, obviously, a little bit later. They had the number 4 class, number 3 class in the country at 24/7 Sports last season. That's nuts to think about. He only got half of his class from Kentucky and just added one piece to it, and it ranks number 3 in the country. That's nuts. The average player rating, so per player rating in 2022 was 97.74, so it's really good. This year's freshmen were 97.03, so close, but a little bit lower there. If you're using 24/7's composite rankings, just like all the major recruiting services there. So in 2022, you had Nick Smith, who was number 1 overall. Anthony Black was 15th. Jordan Walsh was 20th. And so those are your 5-star guys. And then all 3 of Arkansas's major incoming freshmen were composite 5-stars, but they were all a little bit lower. Okay, so where you had 1, 15, and 20 in 2022, in 2024 you had Boogie, who was number 22 overall, Knox 25th, and Richmond 27th. So the 22 guys were all ranked a little bit higher. I think it's also worth noting that the 2020 class just as a whole was viewed as probably much stronger than 2024 was. So time will tell how it all plays out. Nick came in as the number 1 prospect in his class, battled through some injuries. He wound up being a late first-round pick. Anthony Black, who was 15th in his class, wound up being the number 6 pick in the NBA draft because he kind of exceeded expectations and moved into that lottery range. So we'll see how it all plays out. But in terms of recruiting rankings, that's about what you're looking at. So as for 2025, though, the current class is a little trickier because they only got 1 commitment right now. Obviously, they're on a lot of guys, but the 2025 class is viewed as one that's pretty loaded. So I think it does have a chance here, and obviously they got plenty of work left to do to kind of top that 2022 group, depending on how it all shakes out here in the end. Now, the good thing is you're off to a hell of a start. Darius Acuff, the 5-star commitment, he is already the 3rd highest rated commit for Arkansas in the modern era. So he's just right behind Nick Smith Jr. And Al Jefferson, who never made it to campus, but he's already above all the current freshmen, Anthony Black, Jordan Walsh, all those guys. So that's a pretty good start to what you got going on. And then there are dudes who Arkansas is recruiting that are ranked higher than him. So we'll see. Malik Thomas, another 5-star top 10 guy. I think Arkansas remains in the driver's seat here. Hopefully you keep him away from that Kansas State visit this weekend. Maybe you get him back on campus even for this Kansas exhibition and seal the deal. But that's the backcourt duo that they're really looking to have between Thomas and Acuff. That would be a hell of a backcourt duo that would absolutely rival what Arkansas had with Nick Smith and Anthony Black coming in. Chris Sinek, who visited over the weekend, heard that went very, very well, is one that Arkansas is making a serious push for, a big-time push for. Now, his last visit is scheduled for LSU, who's kind of been perceived behind the scenes as maybe the clubhouse leader. but you hope he doesn't even make that visit. And I know that Cal made a big impression on him, so we'll see what happens there. But we're talking about the #1 center in the country by way of the recruiting rankings, and another high 5-star guy, Caleb Wilson, who we talked about a ton, another top 10 5-star wing forward type, just kind of that modern day four, in my opinion. One of the best players in the country in this 2025 class. You could see him on campus this weekend if they're able to get it done here, but hopefully very soon for Arkansas. I know that NIL plays a major factor in Wilson's recruitment. I also know that Arkansas has plenty of it. The relationship's good there with the parents, the family. We'll see how it shakes out. My point being, if you wound up with that class of 4, Acuff, Thomas, Sinak, Caleb Wilson, it would be the top class in the country, and it would surpass anything Arkansas has ever done. I mean, it would have finished second by a hair to Duke, which had an historic class last season. It had a bunch of freshmen in it, Cooper Flagg being one of them, right? It would be actually a little bit lower in terms of overall ranking than 2022, but that's because of the volume, because they had 6 guys in that class. Cal said he's only trying to take 3 or 4, but the average player rating of this hypothetical 2025 class compared to what Arkansas put together in 2022, it'd be superior. It'd be way higher. People say like, okay, well, that's a big if, but Calipari does this regularly, man. I mean, he's finished in the top 2 in the country over and over and over, time and time again. Nobody does the one and done thing like John Calipari does. So to think that it's far-fetched for him to come to Arkansas and put together an historic class, especially with the war chest of NIL that he has, you're fooling yourself if you think that's not something that he can/will do. I almost expect it to happen. So, and even if they don't get 1 or 2 of those guys, because they're probably the top 4 on the board, I mean, there's still several options that could make this a special class. I mean, what if Mika Murinen, the top 5-star prospect in 2026, who's already taken an official visit to campus, what if he reclassifies? Because a lot of people think he would do that. Arkansas will be very much in the running to land him. That would be a huge one. Sean Abayev, a top 25-ish forward wing in this 2025 class, who has already taken an official visit to campus, one that I think if Arkansas really it's kind of put the pedal to the metal on in the recruitment, would have a great chance of landing. That's a possibility. Nate Ament, who's ranked higher than anyone that we've talked about so far on this show, is one who's sounds like he's really enjoying the process. He wants to take a lot of visits, and he might be a late signing period commitment. So a spring guy. If Arkansas, has an open spot and they want to be patient and they wait it out, they've been working overtime to try to get in on that recruitment, get involved there. Maybe you get him on campus, make a late push, and you could land a guy like that who would be the cherry on top of what could be a really special class. My point is, there are a lot of options here and possibilities. Arkansas has 1 commitment right here, right now. So they got a lot of work to do, but in comparing what the possibilities are compared to what they wound up doing in 2022, yes, there is a world that is not that far-fetched out there where Cal's first full year class at Arkansas could surpass anything that Eric Musselman did and anything that Arkansas has done in the modern era. So it's absolutely a possibility there. We'll just have to wait and see how it all shakes out, but it's exciting to think about, no doubt about it. So appreciate the question. As always, make sure you keep them coming, folks. You know how to find them. Hop on the Twitter profile at Kurt Wilkerson _. I got a thread pinned there. You can throw your questions in, get in the YouTube comments and in any of these videos. You can do that. Also subscribe to what we got going on inside Arkansas YouTube page, especially with basketball, the season getting up and rolling. The content is just going to continue flowing at a higher and higher level to go along with everything we're already doing on the football front. Check out our website, insidearkansas.com, for written content. If that's your cup of tea, we got you covered. But I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow morning. This has been Curtis Wilkerson with the Pot at the Palace and Inside Arkansas. Everybody have a great day. Appreciate y'all.